Hi, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Restring Sunday, and today is going to be a bit of a weird episode because it's the bass episode, and it's not fully going to be an actual restring. I'll get to why that is in a minute. In just about every video on this channel, this bass has been somewhere in it, in the background when I'm talking. It's been present in a lot of videos. And I get a lot of questions about it because it's slightly unusual. So today I thought it would be a good time to talk about it. So this is a 1992, so it's 30 years old, made in Germany, Warwick Fretless Corvette Pro Line. That's a lot of words. But before we get into the details of the specs on this, let's just talk about why I have it, because I'm not a bass player. It was a few years ago, and it was before this channel even existed, but I walked into Everest Music. I've done a guitar shopping in Ireland video there. That's my local music shop. And they had two Warwick basses that were pre-owned for sale. At the time, I had just discovered probably my favorite bass player ever, even to this day, T.M. Stevens.
My name is T.M. Stevens. Glad you're aboard. Thank you for purchasing my video. Today we're going to cover a lot of ground. And while we're at it, wait a minute. Ow! Yow! Hey! Ow!
I love him. He's just so energetic, and the finger work, that is so hard to do. He played bass for Steve Vai back when Devin Townsend was in the band, and he also had a solo career that he played some of the best funk metal. Just fantastic. If you're interested, you should definitely check out T.M. Stevens' Boom. But the bass that T.M. used for most of his career was a Warwick. And when I walked into Everest and I saw two Warwicks, I had to pick them up and play them. And Warwick are a very well-known bass brand in their own right. They're a German company. The guitar division is Fretless guitars, and Warwick are the basses. So these two pre-owned basses were both Warwick Corvettes, which is this shape, and they were both made in Germany Warwicks, which surprised me for the prices that they were at. I think I paid around €550 for this bass at the time, which was a really good deal, because if I wanted this bass with the same specs from Warwick made in Germany, I'd probably have to shell out like $3,000 around that. So I paid a lot less for this. It's very hard to get accurate specs on these because, as I stated, this is 30 years old, and from looking at it, I didn't think it was. I knew that this was a Warwick Corvette Pro Line, but Warwick have changed the meaning and definition of the Pro Line over the course of 30 years, that it doesn't really have a set standard. It changes throughout the years. So this, as far as I can tell, being a 1992 model as stamped in the back of the headstock, Warwick were founded in 1982, so 10 years before this bass was made. This is the first year of the Pro Line series. So the specs are a two-piece ash body, and it was originally stained in a much darker red like you can see on the back, but throughout the years the front has changed and faded out to an orange colour just from general light and probably some playing. The neck, though, is my favourite bit. This is a three-piece Wenge neck. It's unfinished, so you can feel the grain, and it's an interesting story because Wenge now is used on guitars and basses, but back before Warwick started using Wenge as the necks in their basses, it was used as a popular dark wood for a hardwood floor. But onto the fretboard, the fretted versions of these basses came with a Wenge fretboard as well as the Wenge neck. But this one, because it's a fretless, is a little bit different. It's got a slab of ebony. It's a bit harder, but more importantly, the grain is a lot closer together, so it's a lot smoother on your fingers when you're sliding up and down like you do on a fretless. Now, like I was mentioning, the Warwick Pro Line has changed so much over the years. The Wenge neck, you can't get that on a Pro Line anymore. It's now a wood that I have absolutely no chance of pronouncing correctly. And also to mention, this neck is incredibly thin. It was a lot thinner than the other bass, the fretted Warwick, that was with this in the shop. Now, these strings on a fretless bass are very much different from your normal bass strings. These are flat wound strings. The strings themselves are very smooth, and if you strung a fretless bass with wound strings like a normal bass string, it would cut into the board in seconds of you playing it. Now, this bass is 30 years old. It has been well played, and you can see where even flat wound strings over the years have been pressed into the board, and there are marks in the board. Although you can't feel them, they are there. The other thing about flat wound strings are they're really expensive, and these particular ones really only have a couple of hours use on them, so there's no sense in changing them out and putting new ones on. These are pretty much new as far as bass strings go, especially flat wounds. Really expensive. There's also another reason I specifically went for this bass. It's got passive pickups. Bass active pickups are actually really cool. It's just this bass isn't going to be used a huge amount in comparison to the guitars, and I don't want to have to worry about batteries going dead, or so passive bass all the way for me, and you know, it sounds good. You can even go full typo negative if you want to. So why did I get this bass as a guitar player? I do own another bass. It's a P-bass copy. Well, I bought this as a bass for life, I suppose. I wanted something that was high spec, that would serve me for pretty much any bass need I could possibly imagine. And I really only ever used them for tracking bass when writing songs or recording demos. I'm not a bass player. I can play bass lines and stuff, but I'm a guitar player who is playing 4 strings. I completely forgot, I need to give away some Players Circle codes so you can grab strings or accessories off the D'Addario site. So, I've been inundated with people donating their codes. Thank you very much to everyone. So I'm just going to throw up a few on the screen now. There's even a pack that was bass strings, so there's probably a fair few points on that one as well. So someone enjoy there. Thank you to those very kind people for donating their codes. If you liked the video, you can subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at KDHGuitarTV. You can comment about basses if you want to, and you can like the video as well. So I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.